Hello, Bellas. Welcome to the Modern Witch Network. It's a pleasure to have you here. Always, to be honest on that. So today I went a little tarot crazy and I bought 4 different decks that I would love to go in a little bit of detail. I'm definitely going to be using in future readings and that I wanted to share with all of you. So here they may be. Quite a haul. Okay, so here I have one being the Star Seed Oracle deck. Now I'm going to also link all of the, about the authors and, who these decks really attribute to, because I feel like it also adds to what you can interpret when you do divination with these cards. So the very famous, the very popular, for a very good reason, the Star Seed Oracle by Rebecca Cambell, who is a practicing mystic, and I forget where she currently lives, but excellent deck. Actually, let's go through it now. I think that might be fun. What I love about this deck is that there's so much attention to detail. Like no other deck really has this type of, box, this setting. It's really beautiful. And of course, oops, we already have a card that wants to speak. Look at that. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I mean, just that's a serious message already in that being, look at the world, the whole universe that awaits you. So with that being said, I love the attention to detail in the book being put here, which really is helpful for anybody when they're dealing with oracle cards. And the deck also shuffles so nicely. So nicely. All right, let's cut a few cards. If you guys want to have a video where I go into full detail of each deck, totally will do it. Since I have just more of a haul, I'm not going to do that at this time. But okay, so I cut this deck, and here we have Fall Into My Arms. I hope this camera really plays and attributes to the beauty. Ooh, this is a gorgeous card. The beauty and the colors and the contrast, and it's just, this is what the back of them look like, right? So this is just a really ethereal, almost Venusian fairy tale-like activated earth. Color scheme here. Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more cards. Let's see. Ooh, beautiful. We have the Blue Flame. So you can tell these cards just have a wide variety of what they want to talk about, for real. So I feel like any spiritual message one could want to ask really can be, the answer can be cultivated from the artwork and from the messages on here. Breath of the Cosmos. I mean, gorgeous. Look at the sacred geometry in that card. Look at the girl just surrendering, and it's almost peaceful. I don't know if any of you have seen Big Hero 6, but there's that the end scene of the movie where Baymax and his little buddy Human are in this portal land, and it reminds me of this like soft, quiet, pink, starry, just gorgeous. Okay. Really excited about this deck. I do have one other deck by Rebecca Cambell, and it's been such a pleasure. I had to get more, right? And that was the Rose Oracle. Also really beautiful messages in that card deck. Very beautiful messages. Highly recommend this deck. Maybe not for a beginner tarot oracle, practitioner, but I think anybody who's had their way, seen a bunch of different varieties of what oracle cards can look like, you'll do very well with that deck. Okay, so this card deck spoke to me. I've never heard of this one before, and I actually found this at Barnes & Noble. I also found this at Barnes & Noble. Fun fact. And this is called the Wandering Star Tarot deck. And it's not just your classic 78, it's actually 80 cards. And you know what? I did have trouble opening it when I got it, but that's okay. That doesn't really attest to the quality here, because the quality of this deck is just by far none. Okay, so I'm not sure if some of you know of the singer-songwriter Kat Pierce, but she authored and illustrated this deck, and the amount of detail in these cards, the colors in these cards, and it's like you can tell there's an artistic touch, just the way she draws it. Reminds me of this old school book I used to read when I was a little girl, but the way that she draws the faces and the eyes. But look at that. Gorgeous. There's even, oh, I thought that was a unicorn. It's not. It's just a white horse, but beautiful. Just gorgeous, right? And as I was saying, this is an 80 card deck because there's an extra couple cards in here, and I'm going to, instead of finding, that's what the Judgment card looks like. Once again, absolutely stunning. Oops. Here we have, ooh, Hierophant. Look at these cards. I mean, the attention to detail. Hand-drawn detail. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. Okay, so back to what I was saying about the extra cards. Now, so usually a tarot deck, the major arcana will end at the World. And this one actually has two more, right? Those two are the Mother Star, which actually has a specific signification of yes, and the Father, which is no. Very interesting, right? Sorry if I'm peeving. I just want to make sure it's like actually good. The words, you can see it. Let's see if I can get them to come out. Very beautiful, right? Just a few. That's Temperance. All of them are so variable to their own account. But what's interesting is she doesn't officially, like, look at this difference, the take on the Wheel of Fortune, right? Once again, there is a specific style to her artistic, touch, her ability, the way she does the faces and the way she does her art, if that's the proper way to say that. But then she also puts her own twist on it. And I would suggest this deck to anybody who's new to tarot. Reason being because there's always words, like a select couple words that are associated with each card. So in this one, and they're embedded into the art. So in this one, right above her head, you could probably see balance and equality, right? Justice, if you could have imagined who that is, what this card is. But here in this one, we have the Emperor, right? Look at the blues, which is so untraditional to the Emperor. The Emperor's like stark reds and golds, but this is soothing. And we have law and order at the top, right? So there's a few words that actually do dedicate pretty well to what the cards signify. So I would highly recommend this deck just because of the sheer beauty of what's on the cards. You can tell there's like so much tenderness and love she put into divinating the art onto these cards. I personally am working on a tarot deck, right? Looks absolutely nothing like this. And it is taking me, it'll probably culminate over a few years, right? So, I must say, this is a real work of art. Real work of art. You can tell all of the effort and time and care. So, I got the two bonus cards. So, it's the Mother Star and the Creator. Why did I think Father? I'm not sure. I take that back. But here we go. Here are the two extra cards that are in this deck, completely based off of her own creative, divine imagination. And then what's nice is they have a yes and a no aspect. So I really respect Miss Kat Pierce's just creative intelligence when she took on this deck. You know, I really respect it. And what I really like is everything is so different, but it speaks to a whole new language of art that is displayed on these types of tarot cards, which to have the different variety is so fantastic. And it is different. Like most of the cards they don't have just a single standing person, right? But that's what she embodied into each card. It's really fascinating, really fabulous, really excellent deck. So I give 2 thumbs up for the Wandering Star Tarot. I will have a link to her own, actually. She did her own personal description, a layout, and you know, her journey with this deck. She claims that tarot has changed her life. I would claim the same thing. I really would. So her and I have that in common. I highly suggest the Wandering Star Tarot deck. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so this is something that I am really excited about. This Believe in Your Own Magic deck, and it's pretty big. Look at the normal tarot deck compared to. Pretty big. Interestingly, okay, Amanda Lovelace is an author and a poet of many fascinating titles. And she's actually a fantasy, a fairy tale author, which her more prominent works have culminated as, right? All right. Something that is a little interesting is the book is like the exact size of the box. So it actually, when I first opened it today, I couldn't get it. I has just a thought. I don't know. I don't really want to bend the book with all of the interpretations. Okay, but regardless, I think what's really cool about this deck is that there's all types of women in shapes and sizes. Look at these mermaids, right? There's all sorts of varying degrees of messages. I don't really think there's a theme besides just like empowered personas, right? We have this card. This is gold, right? This is the blue in her hair. Like they really, I feel like these are modern day fairy tale interpretations of our daily lives, honestly, and the people we've become in this modern era, which with the Modern Witch Network, we're all about that. I really think this is really, it's just beautiful, right? Number 17 would usually be associated with the star. So I think that's really pretty with the flower. Look at this, is a bitch fire. I think I read the deck's card book for this one, and bitch fire means somebody's trying to put you at the fire, but there are times when you're supposed to be quiet and there's times when you're not, and bitch, speak up, because this is not that time. That's what that card means. I don't know. Look at this gorgeous card, Mirror, right? She's walking on water. She's listening to music. Her heart is lifted. Just really impeccable messages. Really impeccable. Still a little fairy tale element to these cards. You know, it's really cool. Look, she has, she must have had an injury. But look at, she is still willing to go up against the dragons. Nothing stops this person, right? Dragons, slay them all. So I really love the modern twist on this deck. Really beautiful. Really, what's nice is that the picture does really tell a story. Just one picture. You would do honestly just fine with one card from this deck for a reading, because I feel like you can just imagine a story where this woman, longingly, of course, looking out the clouds, she's sharpening her sword of truth for herself so she can see more clearly. Time has passed. Her hair is long, but she is obviously well off. That's just not where her heart lies. Like there's this whole story just embellished or enwrapped in this one card, and you could probably, because the artwork is done so well. Honestly. There's just like that storytelling element to not only the persona that is being depicted, but the environment that they are currently in. So it's kind of like, right, with astrology, you got the planets and then you got the houses. The planets is more of the persona, the house is where it all plays out. So really, really great deck. I do like we'll open one of these pages in the book just to see how it goes, right? Oh, really beautiful. We opened up to library, page number 22. Now there's not a lot of, like it's not like a novel, right, for each card. And there's no reverse readings, which I really like. That's when I read tarot, I don't pull reverse cards because they usually just mean the opposite. Or more likely to me, reverse cards are not something to be feared, but they're more of just like, hey, you haven't been thinking of me so much. Maybe you should take me into consideration again. That's why when it's reversed, it almost catches your attention a little more. And that is what the artist here decided, the lovely Amanda Lovelace, that's what she decided to convey with this deck. And I give thumbs up for that as well, because not many tarot readers think that way, and that's okay. And not many tarot readers read that way. Once again, okay. But this, to me, in the way I read reverse cards, that was something of a message that was almost in the first parts of this book. So anyway, back to the page that we pulled here. It's library. And it's a girl actually standing on top of quite a few books. The one she's on is open, but there's this ethereal hand with the strings over her as she has her skirt flowing on top of these books. Fascinating artistic depiction, since you're not seeing it and I'm just relaying it to you. But the library card stands, being number 22, right? Angelic. Take control of your own narrative. So someone else is trying to call the shots in your life. They think they can waltz in and control your every move, and you need to say no to their manipulation. It might seem tempting to relinquish control, but if you give someone else power over you, your narrative, chaos will ensue. And it will all be in their favor and not yours. The stories inside of you make you a library on the verge of bursting, but only if you're the one to pick up the pen. Well, I'm an aspiring author, so that message, and I've been a librarian for many years, so that message has plenty of meaning to me. Love that it's 22. So as you can see, it's clear and to the point, just like the cards. And as you also can see, I kind of just dry shuffle my cards. I don't really, read them. Sometimes I will, just to look at what the art is, but I'll show you guys too, just because. Oh my, what is this? Phoenix. Wow. That's pretty beautiful. Anyway, when I do shuffle these cards, I am actually infusing my energy with this new deck. And that's something that I do with all of my new decks, as well as I smoke cleanse them and leave them in my crystal grids in my room. So keep them close. We love these decks. They are more than just cards, right? They're almost energetically alive. And if you treat them as such, you really will receive the rewards of such. Okay, so believe in your own magic. To end that little piece off. And now, this is Big Mama Drama. Really love this deck. You know what's cool? Actually, I didn't point this out in my Starseed Oracle, but I'm going to point it out as well. Barnes & Noble had a couple, but I got the one that was ripped. Why, you might say? Just like I got the one for this Wild Mystic that was smushed a little bit. You can't see it tremendously too well, but that's what a good corner looks like. That's what a bad one. He got smushed. He must have fell off a bookshelf. I feel the same for this. Must have had a loud smack hard, but that's just, to me, energy is bursting out of these decks. They already have messages to tell. So when I look for a brand new deck, essentially I didn't go for the one that was the most pristine. There's already an essential language that these decks are trying to speak about, which that's something I forgot to mention. I'm going to mention that here because it also plays true for this deck. Wow, what a encompassment already. I really love what this artist and author did. So this is Anastasia Carti. She is a freelance oh my gosh, she's a freelance illustrator. She's a freelance drawer, right? She is inspired by the Victorian era aesthetic, and she currently lives out in North Wales, which I believe is England, Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I am. Anyway, so this book is quite a book. The pages in it are all that beautiful laminate. Like I almost just want to like get cozy up and read. But they're gold edged, right? It's hardback, bound back. Oh my gosh, it's a hardcover book. Oh gosh, love it. I already love it. I really do. We'll go in here since I decided to sit down. Okay, so not only do you have this gorgeous book to really help set things off right, you have also this gorgeous deck. And I did take a peek. I am saving one of the best for last for a reason. This deck feels like no other deck I have ever had the honor to put my hands on. So, Miss Anastasia, truly kudos for an incredible job, well done. This deck has gold edging. See? It's got energy in here. They're all smooth gloss coated. You can tell they're thick and firm. They have like weight to them. They're almost like weighted deck. Almost like, I'm gonna confidently say this is a weighted deck, right? Oh, here we go. Collaborate. Dang, that's like a message sent from the author. Collaboration time, right? Love it. And we have adaptation with the octopus. So what I found really prominent in this deck is not only this intricate artwork to go about into detail with these animal totems, right? These very strong spiritually associated animals. Look at the narwhal. Look at that. I'm sorry for the glow. Here we go. Gorgeous. And you might be able to tell there's all this, octopus wasn't a good example, but behind the animals, there's like extra semblances of symbolism, which really, as an oracle reader, we like to see that. Not only is there a message associated with ants, for example, ants mean working together in harmonious union. Hard work too. Ants don't stop, right? They're like the bees on the ground. And then you got the lion, the Leo, courage. King of the jungle energy, right? That's what a lion attributes to. But then you got some symbolism. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but it's almost like a shield, kind of the formation of a coat of arms up here, potentially. Then you got this like gear symbolism, this up here, oops, that guy, right? All right, let me do some that have a little bit better ones. Not that they don't have good symbols, just to prove my point, better in that, right? Here we go, that's a good example, right? Oh my. That is a card. Look at that bunny with the antlers and the web. Believe. Ooh, that's a wicked card. It's a good one. Okay, look at this dragonfly with this opening blossom. I don't want to say it's a zinnia. I'm not going to say it. Right? With the triangle in the back. Look at this peace sign. Right? So you got all these underlying but symbols to do with each card and the animal on there. But not only that, this deck just feels like a dream to hold. It really is. It's a little, it's just about everything you can want in a deck, right? The black and the gold is really beautiful. I can tell what she's getting at with the way she artistically depicts too. Like you can tell, like you get the deck, you can tell. I will link her and all of her artwork and her website on the bottom because I think this woman, this artist deserves recognition for sure. Okay. All right. So, to be very honest with you, beautiful bells, that is really all the cards in the decks that I got just today. And I really look forward to doing more of these videos with you. I really look forward to using these decks in future readings with all of y'all. My energy is hype right now because they're just really good vibes, I can tell. And until next time. All right. Thanks for joining me, y'all. Ciao.